Let's start with some background information as to Kohlberg and his moral development. Kohlberg, which was a follower of Piaget, has offered a new, more detailed stage sequence for moral thinking, whereas Piaget basically found two stages of moral thinking, the second of which emerges in early adolescence. Kohlberg has uncovered additional stages which develop well into adolescence and adulthood. He has suggested that some people even reach a post-conventional level of moral thinking where they no longer accept their own society as given but think relatively and reflectively about what a good society should be. Exploration of moral and ethical development in young people. He was a professor for three different universities: University of Chicago, Yale University, and Harvard University. Kohlberg then married in 1955 and was married to her until his death in 1987. Kohlberg suffered depression after contracting an illness while traveling, which is believed to later lead to him committing suicide. Now let's talk a little bit about social cognitive, which played a key role in the success of Lawrence Kohlberg and his moral theory. Social cognition is a subtopic of social psychology that focuses on how people process, store, and apply information about other people and social situations. It focuses on the role that cognitive processes play in our social interactions. Moral or morality. Exactly what is that? What does moral mean? Well, to many people, it might mean many different things. But basically, moral means understanding what is right and what is wrong. What is your interpretation of right and what is your interpretation of wrong? These questions are some of the questions that Kohlberg studied and asked. While more development in the transition or the progression that is made as a child to an adult to be able to make the right choice over the wrong. Now let's explore some concepts of social cognitive. You have situation, environmental, self-control, behavior reinforcement, self-efficient, and reinforcement. All of these play a crucial role in social cognitive. Then you have cognitive relatability. There's cognitive relatability in almost everywhere and everything you do. You have cognitive relatability in mass media, in education, and yes, even in marketing. Now let's dig a little deep into moral development. Kohlberg began work on this topic while a psychology graduate student at the University of Chicago in 1958 and expanded upon the theory throughout his life. The theory holds that moral reasoning, the basis for ethical behavior, has 6 identifiable developmental stages, each more adequate at responding to more moral dilemmas than its predecessor. Kohlberg followed the development of moral judgment far beyond the ages studied earlier by Piaget, who also claimed that logic and morality developed through constructive stages. Expanding on Piaget's work, Kohlberg determined that the process of moral development was principally concerned with justice, and that it continued throughout the individual's lifetime, a notion that spawned dialogue on the philosophical implications of such research. The 6 stages of moral development are grouped into 3 levels: pre-conventional morality, conventional morality, and post-conventional morality. Kohlberg's theory of moral development includes 3 levels and 6 stages as previously stated. The first stage is pre-conventional morality. Stage 1, obedience and punishment. The child is motivated to avoid punishment and has little or no independent moral reasoning. Stage 2, individualism and exchange. Individuals are focused on fulfilling their own self-interest while acknowledging that different people have different views. The conventional morality. Stage 3, maintaining interpersonal relationships. At this stage, individuals emphasize the importance of being kind to other people, engaging in good behavior, and showing concern for others. This stage includes a strong emphasis on gaining approval. Stage 4, law and order. The individual is determined to obey the rules, focusing on the value that the law adds to human life. A person at this stage might argue that breaking the law is wrong because the law is designed to protect people. Stage 4, individuals focus on maintaining the social order and upholding cultural norms. Post-conventional morality. Stage 5, social contract. People at this stage of development focus on doing what is best for society as a whole and respecting individual rights. Civil disobedience would be endorsed by people in both stages of post-conventional morality. Stage 6, universal principles. At this stage, individuals are focused on upholding principles of universal justice, fairness, and ethics. They believe in the democratic process, but also endorse disobeying unjust laws. Okay, now since we have some background information on Kohlberg and exactly what his moral development theories were and are, let's talk about his famous studies. He studied and studied different groups of people and children um, to get various results on their morality. Kohlberg tests various children and different age groups in regards to moral situations. Many of the children were white males of middle to high class. Kohlberg was not interested in the answer, but why the child chose the answer in that way. One example of a study was the Heinz dilemma story. Heinz's wife was dying from a particular type of cancer. Doctors said a new drug might save her. the drug had been discovered by a local chemist, and the Heinz tried desperately to buy some. But the chemist was charging 10 times the money it cost to make the drug, and this was much more than Heinz could afford. Heinz could only raise half the money, even after help from family and friends. He explained to the chemist that his wife was dying and asked if he could have the drug cheaper or pay the rest of the money later. The chemist refused, saying that he had discovered the drug and was going to make money from it. The husband was desperate to save his wife, so later that night he broke into the chemist and stole the drug. So the question that he imposed on his study groups in relation to this story was, is this correct or is this wrong? Is this good? Was this ethical? How do you feel about this? Was Heinz wrong? Should he have not broken into the chemist's store? Or was he right? And he wasn't interested in the yes or no answer. He wanted to know what was the reasoning behind the answers. What made these group of individuals say yes, or what made these group of individuals say no? So he began studies like that, many stories like that, different types of stories and studies and different ways of getting people to think outside of the box so that he could examine and study their thoughts in a way. So now the big question is, how is Kohlberg and his moral development study related to education? Well, every day in the classroom, our students are faced with moral decisions. We're faced with moral decisions, ethical decisions. The clear understanding of this theory, Piaget helps us develop a deeper understanding of our students. And Kohlberg adds on that. He develops it. He makes more of Piaget's theory, and he focuses more on a cognitive level. So all this plays a deeper important role so that we can understand our students. That you have observed your students be challenged with. Just food for thought. Well, again, my name is Jessica Miles. I thank you for listening to me, and I hope you learned something and enjoyed the presentation on the moral development of Lawrence Kohlberg. Thank you.